Azure. Welcome to my channel TechQuest Learning Point. Today I am going to discuss the question and answer of the exam AZ-900. Question number 41. To complete the sentence, select the appropriate option in the answer area. Azure Site Recovery provides dash for virtual machines. Option A, fault tolerance. Option B, disaster recovery. Option C, elasticity. Option D, high availability. We know that Azure Site Recovery is a service and its functionality is to provide fault tolerance for virtual machines. So the option A is correct answer. It helps ensure business continuity by keeping business apps and workload running during outages. Site recovery replicates workloads running on physical and virtual machines VMs from a primary site to a secondary location. Question 42. Your company plans to migrate all its data and resources to Azure. The company's migration plan states that only platform as a service PaaS solutions must be used in Azure. You need to deploy an Azure environment that meets the company migration plan. Solution. You create an Azure app service and Azure SQL database. Does this meet the goal? Option A, yes. Option B, no. Answer. In this question, it's clear that by creating an Azure app service and Azure SQL databases, it's possible to meet the goal because Azure app service and Azure SQL databases are example of Azure PaaS solutions. Therefore, this solution does meet the goal. Next question. Question number 43. You plan to migrate several servers from an on-premises network to Azure. What is an advantage of using a public cloud service for the servers over an on-premises network? Option A. The public cloud is owned by the public, not a private corporation. Option B. The public cloud is a crowdsourcing solution that provides corporations with the ability to enhance the cloud. Option C. All public cloud resources can be freely accessed by every member of the public. Option D. The public cloud is a shared entity whereby multiple corporations each use a portion of the resources in the cloud. Answer. Here you are asked about the advantages of public cloud. In option A, B and C are not advantages of cloud. So these options are incorrect. The correct option is D because the public cloud is a shared entity in which any resources or services can be accessed by anywhere in the world. Next question. Question number 44. The company's migration plan states that only platform as a service PaaS solutions must be used in Azure. You need to deploy an Azure environment that meets the company migration plan. Solution. You create an Azure app service, Azure virtual machines that have a Microsoft SQL server installed. Does this meet the goal? Option A, yes. Option B, no. Answer. In this solution, we want to create an Azure app service and virtual machines. It's possible to create an Azure app service on PaaS environment, but for an Azure virtual machine, it's not possible to create it on PaaS environment. We know that VM can be created by using IaaS only. Therefore, this solution does not meet the goal. So, the answer will be the option B. Next question. Question number 45. For each of the statements, select yes if the statement is true. Otherwise, select no. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. Option A. To achieve a hybrid cloud model, a company must always migrate from a private cloud model. Option B. A company can extend the capacity of its internal network by using the public cloud. Option C. In a public cloud, only guest users at your company can access the resources in the cloud. Answer. Here the correct answer is no, yes, no. In statement 1, in order to achieve a hybrid cloud model, this is not a mandatory that first you need to migrate from private cloud model. You can start with a public cloud and then combine it with your on-premises infrastructure to achieve a hybrid cloud. So this statement is not true. In statement 2, it's possible to extend the capacity of any internal network by configuring a cloud environment. In order to implement it, need to connect any on-premises network to the public cloud through a VPN. So this statement is true. In statement 3, only guest users can access cloud resources. This is false. You can give anyone with an account in Azure Active Directory access to the cloud resources. Next question. Question number 46. Your company plans to migrate all its data and resources to Azure. The company's migration plan states that only platform as a service PaaS solution must be used in Azure. You need to deploy an Azure environment that meets the company migration plan. Solution. You create an Azure App Service and Azure storage accounts. Does this meet the goal? Option A, yes. Option B, no. Answer. In this solution, we want to create an Azure App Service platform as a service PaaS. It is possible, but in order to create an Azure storage account, we need the infrastructure as a solution IaaS. Therefore, the correct answer is option B. Next question. Question number 47. You have an on-premises network that contains 100 servers. You need to recommend a solution that provides additional resources to your users. The solution must minimize capital operational expenditure cost. What should you include recommendation? Option A complete migration to the public cloud. B, an additional data center. C, a private cloud. D, a hybrid cloud. Answer. If we go through an option that is a complete migration of 100 servers to the public cloud would involve a lot of operational expenditure. In fact, this is the cost of migrating all servers that increases capital expenditure. So this is incorrect answer. For option B, to install additional data center also increases capital expenditure. So this is incorrect answer. In option C, a private cloud is hosted on premises server. To this would involve a lot of capital expenditure. So this is incorrect answer. But for option D, it cannot increase the cost. With a hybrid cloud, you can continue to use an on-premises servers while adding new servers in the public cloud. Adding new servers in Azure minimizes the capital expenditure cost, as you are not paying for new servers as you would if you deployed new server on premises. Therefore, the correct answer is option D. Next questions. Question number 48. A company hosts an accounting application named App1 that is used by all customers of the company. App1 has low usage during the first 3 weeks of each month and very high usage during the last week of each month. Which benefit of Azure Cloud Services supports cost management for this type of usage pattern? Option A, high availability. B, high latency. C, elasticity. D, load balancing. Answer. Option A is not correct answer because the App1 is required to be available equally for the whole month. There is no impact on low or high uses. For option B, Here latency is not factor in this scenario, so this is incorrect answer. For option D, load balancing is not appropriate here, so this is not correct answer. But for option C, we know that elasticity is the ability to provide additional compute resources when needed and reduce the compute resource when not needed to reduce cost. Therefore, the option C is correct answer. The next question number 49. Which cloud deployment solution is used for Azure Virtual Machines and Azure SQL Database? To answer, select appropriate options in the answer area. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. Azure Virtual Machines dash. Azure SQL Databases dash. Option A, Infrastructure as a Service IaaS. B, Platform as a Service PaaS. C, Software as a Service SaaS. Answer. For Azure Virtual Machines deployment, Infrastructure as a Service IaaS is the correct option, but for Azure SQL Databases, Platform as a Service PaaS is the correct option. Next question number 50. You plan to migrate a web application to Azure. The web application is accessed by external users. You need to recommend a cloud deployment solution to minimize the amount of administrative effort used to manage the web application. What should you include in the recommendation? Option A, Software as a Service SaaS. B, Platform as a Service PaaS. C, Infrastructure as a Service IaaS. D, Database as a Service DaaS. Answer. In this scenario, Azure App Service is the best selection to host the web application. Azure App Service is created by using the Platform as a Service PaaS. App Service includes the web and mobile capabilities that were previously delivered separately as Azure Websites and Azure Mobile Services. Therefore, the correct answer is option B. Next question. Question number 51. To which cloud models can you deploy physical servers? Option A, private cloud and hybrid cloud only. Option B, private cloud only. Option C, private cloud, hybrid cloud and public cloud. Option D, hybrid cloud only. Answer. Both a private and hybrid cloud model is used to deploy physical servers. We know that a hybrid cloud is a mix of on-premises and public cloud resources, and a private cloud is on-premises infrastructure. Therefore, the correct answer is option A. Next question. Question number 52. In which type of cloud model are all the hardware resources owned by a third party and shared between multiple tenants? Option A, private. Option B, hybrid. Option C, public. Answer. Here, option C is correct answer. Microsoft Azure, Amazon Web Services and Google Cloud are three examples of public cloud service provider. Microsoft, Amazon and Google own the hardware. The tenants are the customers who use the public cloud services. Next question. Question number 53. You plan to provision infrastructure as a service IaaS resources in Azure. Which resource is an example of IaaS? Option A, an Azure Web App. Option B, an Azure Virtual Machine. C, an Azure Logic App. D, an Azure SQL Database. Answer. We previously know that the Azure Virtual Machine is an example of infrastructure as a service IaaS. Azure Web App, Azure Logic App and Azure SQL Database are all examples of platform as a service PaaS. Therefore, option B is the correct answer. Next question. Question number 54. To complete the sentence, select the appropriate option in the answer area. An Azure Web App that queries an on-premises Microsoft SQL Server is an example of a dash cloud. Option A hybrid, option B multi-vendor, option C public, option D private. Answer. In this scenario, an Azure web app is hosted in a public cloud and perform queries in a private cloud. So this is combination of uses of resources and it is called hybrid cloud model. Therefore, the correct answer is option A. Move to the next question. Question number 55. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true. Otherwise, select no. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. Option A. Azure pay-as-you-go pricing is an example of CapEx. Option B. Paying electricity for your data center is an example of OpEx. Option C. Deploying your own data center is an example of CapEx. Answer. First of all, let's take an idea about CapEx and OpEx. What is meant by CapEx? In simple, CapEx is where you pay for something upfront. For example, buying a new physical server. On the other hand, OpEx is the cost for operating infrastructure. In statement 1, Azure pay-as-you-go model is the meant that you pay for services as you use them. This kind of cost is called OpEx. So, this statement is not true. In statement 2, paying for electricity for your own data center will be treated as CapEx, not OpEx. So, this statement is not true. In statement 3, deploying your own data center is an example of CapEx because you need to purchase all the infrastructure upfront before you can use it. Therefore, this statement is true. Next question, question number 56. You have 1000 virtual machines hosted on the Hyper-V hosts in a data center. You plan to migrate all the virtual machines to an Azure pay-as-you-go subscription. You need to identify which expenditure model to use for the planned Azure solution. Which expenditure model should you identify? Option A, operational, option B, elastic, option C, capital, option D, scalable. Answer. In this option of the question, elastic and scalable are not related to cost. The remaining options are operational and capital. Since all virtual machines are migrated to cloud under the subscription of pay-as-you-go pricing model, and we know that this kind of cost is called the operating expenditure or OpEx. Therefore, the correct answer is option A. Move to the next question, question number 57. Your company has an on-premises network that contains multiple servers. The company plans to reduce the following administrative responsibilities: backing up application data, replacing failed server hardware, managing physical server security, updating server operating systems, managing permissions to shared documents. The company plans to migrate servers to Azure virtual machines. You need to identify which administrative responsibilities will be eliminated after the planned migration. Which two responsibilities should you identify? Each correct answer represents a complete solution. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. Option A, replacing failed server hardware. Option B, backing up application data. Option C, managing physical server security. Option D, updating server operating system. Option E, managing permissions to shared document. Answer. The correct answer is option A, replacing failed server hardware, and option C, managing physical server security. Move to the next question, question number 58. Match the Azure services benefits to the correct descriptions, instructions To answer, drag the appropriate benefit from the column on the left to its description on the right. Each benefit may be used once, more than once, or not at all. Note, each correct match is worth 1 point. Disaster recovery, fault tolerance, low latency, dynamic scalability, a cloud service that remains available after a failure occurs. A cloud service that can be recovered after a failure occurs. A cloud service that performs quickly when demand increases. A cloud service that can be accessed quickly from the internet. Answer. The correct options are in order: fault tolerance, disaster recovery, dynamic scalability, low latency. Move to the next question, question number 59. For each of the statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. Statements. A platform as a service PaaS solution provides full control of operating systems that host applications. A platform as a service PaaS solution provides additional memory to apps by changing pricing tiers. A platform as a service PaaS solution can automatically scale the number of instances. Answer. In statement 1, PaaS cloud model has no control of operating system, so this is false. In statement 2, the PaaS cloud model does not provide additional memory, so this is false. In statement 3, the PaaS cloud model can automatically scale the number of instances. Therefore, this statement is true. Next question. Question number 60. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. Statements. To implement a hybrid cloud model, a company must have an internal network. A company can extend the computing resources of its internal network by using a hybrid cloud. In a public cloud model, only guest users at your company can access the resources in the cloud. Answer. In statement 1, this is false because for implementing a hybrid cloud model, it's not mandatory to go through internal network. You could start with a public cloud and then combine that with an on-premises infrastructure to implement a hybrid cloud. In the second statement, this is true because it is possible to extend the computing resources to its internal network by using a hybrid cloud. When you need more resources rather than pay out for new on-premises infrastructure, you can configure a cloud environment and connect your on-premises network to the cloud environment by using a VPN. In statement 3, this is the false because you can give anyone with an account in Azure Active Directory access to the cloud resources. There are many authentication scenarios, but a common one is to replicate your on-premises Active Directory accounts to Azure Active Directory and provide access to the Azure Active Directory account.